Hello, namaste everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is going to be about Venus in the nakshatra of Purva. No, we did it already in the nakshatra of Uttara Ashadha. Okay, so if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates. If you would like to have your personal readings from me, you can check out the link in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the reading, unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Under the courses section, you can sign up for the online course. Right, so let's just quickly talk about Venus in Uttara Ashar Nakshatra. Now, Venus in Uttarashad, a very powerful placement. Let me first tell you, Uttarashad is indeed a very powerful nakshatra. Uttara Ashad is said to be the invincible one, the later victory, right? So we are going to talk about it, but there's something that we need to discuss first, which is about Venus being in which sign. So first pada of Uttarashad Nakshatra is a part of the Sagittarius sign, and the rest of the three padas are the part of the Capricorn sign. It extends from 26 degrees 40 minutes of Sagittarius till 10 degrees of Capricorn, in which we also have Abhijit Nakshatra, the hidden and the most invincible, powerful nakshatra, which is said to be the pada 4 of Uttara Ashar Nakshatra. Right? This is like undefeatable nakshatra we have within an invincible star. Okay, so now let's understand what Venus is about. So what information you're going to get in this particular video. Venus is the natural lord of your second house and your seventh house. So Venus represents your relationship with your family. It represents your spouse, your married life. It represents your lifestyle, your money matters, your possessions, luxury, and everything else. Venus also represents your income and your career to some extent. Although the Karka is, of course, Saturn, but a combination of understanding with Venus is going to help you analyze that where the income is going to come from, where the money is going to come from. So you might be doing a career which might not lead you towards the maximum amount of money. That is because you're understanding your Saturn, but you're not understanding your Venus together with Saturn. So Venus is the money flow, Venus is the income, Venus is your spending habits, it's your savings, every significant thing in regards of your money, every significant thing in regards of your speech, your income, your relationship with the family is Venus. Venus also rules the seventh house, the house or the domain of Libra. So how you balance your relationships, how you have a perspective or outlook towards relationships, how your spouse is, what are the traits of your spouse, and how do you behave in a relationship, that is Venus. So Venus has to do a lot with all of these things. Venus is also going to be a presenter of your business, because seventh house is the house of business. It's the house of your partnerships. So how your partnerships are going to go, that is also very much dependent on Venus. So first things first, this Venus comes into the nakshatra of Sun. So definitely when it is in Uttara Ashad, it is going to be influenced by Sun. But then there are two different sides. I will give a summary of both the sides. When Venus is towards the side of Sagittarius, it's like there's something which is bothering me here. I don't know. So there's something that so the influence of Jupiter is there in the sign of Sagittarius. It's like Venus, Jupiter, and Sun. So the energy of these three strong planets are there. Venus is antithesis to Jupiter. Venus is also antithesis to Sun, because both of them are from the Devas category and Venus is from the Asuras category. So first of all, this shows is that you are bound to get lessons through your relationships and through your encounters with others. You are bound to basically identify your personality and your confidence through your relationships. And power struggles are going to be one of the factors which are going to influence your relationships, which is actually the catalyst of your journey, or it is basically what karma you are going to get, what lesson you are going to get. But definitely, when Venus is in the side of Jupiter, there can be misunderstandings. That is because Venus being in the sign of Sagittarius, influenced by the nakshatra of Sun, that gives a person a very strong attitude, where a person identifies themselves that they have immense amount of information, they have immense amount of knowledge. So it becomes very hard for such a person to tie down in a relationship setting. They only do well when they are into a very spiritually aligned relationship or a very open relationship. Like, I'm not typically talking about open relationship, but I'm talking about where they can express themselves, where they can optimistically have their freedom along with being in a partnership. That is the only setting these people do extremely well. And these people have a thing with power because of Sun. They want to find their control, they want to find their pride out of their relationships. So they always choose partners who themselves are intellectual, themselves are powerful when it comes to their presence. And of course, these people also do have a very, very strong presence. But the misunderstanding part is because of the influence of Venus and Jupiter. And of course, since I've always been saying that whenever Venus comes into the sign of Sagittarius, there's always a run and chase that happens. A person gets to, enjoy the initial stage of relationship with a very playful, very optimistic, and all about, two hippies just enjoying their life kind of a relationship in the beginning. But then the run and chase scenario happens. That is because the stars want you to align and understand your own emotions, because Sagittarius is most of all, many times, just suppress or do not identify their emotional self. That's because the sign of Cancer is eighth from the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, so as to make them acknowledge that, make them go into that deep space of water without being into the fire, that is the lesson for them. Now, if Venus is suppose on the side of Capricorn, that is more of a hard work situation, because now this Venus is being influenced by Saturn, his friend, but also Sun. So when Venus comes into this side, this is of course, it has most of the good part, but a little bit of struggle is there. Rather, a little, I would say a little bit more of struggle is there, because now you have to work hard towards connecting into relationships. You have to work hard with your self-confidence. You do get certain situations where your ego, your pride, your self-esteem is challenged with your relationships. And this can even make you have later success in love and relationship with the Capricorn side. So the pada second, third, and fourth, which falls into Capricorn, that is more about hard work. That definitely, along with hard work, this is a placement where you are going to be wanting to have a relationship which adds on to your growth, which adds on to your status. So overall, a person is quite concerned with whom they are connecting with. They are very picky individuals, not picky in the sense of caste, creed, race. These people, when we'll talk about the whole Uttara Ashar, we'll understand how these people absolutely do not measure people into caste, creed, or race. These are genuinely quite dependable individuals. And when they are in love, they just are in love, no matter what you are, who you are. But definitely, they do have some moral understanding or wishes of having a partner who is, when they stand with them, they are like a power couple. That's what they want. Okay, it's not about the money, but it's about just matching that intellectual and that, the compatibility self. Okay, so let's talk about this nakshatra with the influence of planet first. So the planet that rules this nakshatra is, of course, sun. Sun is all about one's confidence, personality, it's brightness. It brightens up, it gives light. Right. So Uttara Ashar Nakshatra, ruled by sun, or the Surya, it has its own charm. So when a person has Venus in this nakshatra, definitely they do experience power struggles in relationships and, of course, marriage. Your partner is going to be very highly dependent, but bold and sassy and bossy individual whenever you are in love. So one thing I would address here, although this is the part of basically the animal totem, mongoose, but I would address it here because when Venus comes into the nakshatra of Uttara Ashad, it's very hard for a person to actually settle up in a relationship. Why it is difficult? Because these people, until unless they get a partner who controls them, who is powerful, who just puts up a power on them, they do not settle. It's like that in their heart space, they actually want a powerful partner. They actually want a partner who can dominate them, although they are also very dominating in relationships. But that is basically their turn on, when they get a partner who is powerful, who has dependability, who always thinks about everyone in the surroundings. That's their catch, basically. So that is the reason they do not settle for weak choices. Like when I'm talking about weak, that's weak from here. They always want to have a very strong minded individual. With sun, you would see, if Venus is on the Sagittarius side, they would have a very optimistic smile, they would have a very optimistic aura, they would be philosophical. If your Venus is on the Capricorn side, you are going to marry a person who's quite a person, like a very formal individual, a person who goes with organization, who goes with discipline, who is always keeping, always wanting to work hard towards money, who has ambitions, who has his own goals. Right. But one thing is common with sun is that they love royalty. They love to be in a setting, or they love to have comforts in their surroundings. And that actually makes them extremely lazy. So you are going to have a partner who's going to be a lover for royal comfort situations, and rather they would always work on getting a lifestyle, or getting, working through their profession to get a good lifestyle, to get good money. Also, with sun, there comes a lot of knowledge, there comes a lot of wisdom as well. So with Jupiter, of course, there is like tons of wisdom on the Sagittarius side, tons of knowledge, tons of expertise, tons of opportunities. And then on the Capricorn side, due to the influence of Saturn, again there is wisdom related to how the reality works, how the world works. There can be a bit of coldness within your approach to relationship, and of course your partner in his or her nature as well, because they must have gone through the practical side of life. They are practical, they know what is it to work hard, they might have worked hard from a very early age, so they actually value hard work. Now the next would be the animal totem. So the animal for Uttara Ashar is mongoose. And if you'll see, there is no other mongoose or there is no other nakshatra which has the mongoose as their animal. So that's why it is said that this nakshatra does not have a similar yoni. That's why these people just feel that they are out of the world. They just feel that they are not compatible to anyone else. Even though you would see these people to be in marriage, happy marriage for 15, 20, 25, 30, what not years, but still you would see these people to be the ones who stand alone, who are powerful alone. That's why this nakshatra does not have another counterpart. So with mongoose, mongoose is an animal who is the only animal who can even control a cobra, a snake. First of all, these people do not do very well with the nakshatras associated with snakes. I think that is Rohini and Mrekashara. They don't do well with them. And even Ashlesha, because that's associated with Nagas. These people have a tendency, whenever they are in love, they can give you benefit of the doubt. They can let you take their advantage only to catch you when the time is right, because these people are highly opportunist. Mongoose are actually, they actually can be the friends of the snakes before they actually bite them, before they eat them, or before they just bite and just make injure them or maybe kill them. So these people wait for the right time to attack. Actually, mongoose waits for the right time to attack. So when Venus is in Uttara Ashadha, you are an individual who is going to wait for the right time, for the right opportunity, whether it is in love, whether it is in your relationships or in your marriage or any opportunity with money and income. On the side of Capricorn, you hold your calm, you're patient with your choices, you're firm with your choices. On the side of Sagittarius, you will actually make up mistakes because of your impulsiveness. And then you would learn what is the importance of having actual patience. But definitely, these people, because of the mongoose totem, they can identify who is the snake in the group, who is the snake in the surroundings. So excellent learners, excellent evaluators, analysts. And you would see one of the greatest profession you would see with Uttara Ashar is teachers. The people who actually are either lecturers or are at a stage where they are the guides, they are instructors, they are the ones who make other people learn. They are the ones who train other people, who are on consultancy side, advisory side. Those are the Uttarashar ones. Excellent astrologers also with Venus in that. The relationship with the family, because of this mongoose, uh, uh, this mongoose as the animal, you are, mongoose is said to be a very social animal. They have a habit of just saying hi to everyone, but they won't let anyone to come very close, but they would be social with everyone. So that is your scenario with the family. You indeed do have your considerations towards the family, but you would see that always when it comes to family, when it comes to relationships, somewhere or the other, you are just into conflicts. You just at some point in your life, you will land into conflicts or warlike situations with the family or with even your partner. That's because Uttara Ashar was the nakshatra when Mahabharata actually happened. And when you read the mythology of Uttara Ashar, it's a lot about Mahabharata only. It has the association of Krishna, how he was into the Mahabharata, how he actually came out in his own avatar in the front of Arjun in the Mahabharata. It has the association of when the Mahabharata commenced. It has the association of I think the son of Abhimanyu, who was the grandson of Arjuna. I don't remember the name. It was something to do with P. Pari. Just a second. I've written it. Parikshit. Parikshit. It has to do with Parikshit, who did not die even though he was, attacked with the Brahmastra. So that is the reason this nakshatra is called as the invincible star, right? So that is why this is undefeated. So one thing let me tell you, in the context of mongoose and in the context of sun as well, in the context of this whole mythology as well, Uttara Ashar individuals, when you have Venus in Uttara Ashar, don't be the first one or don't be the one to approach anyone when it is about opportunities in relationship or it is about opportunities in your career, in your income. And absolutely, whenever there is a conflict, there is a problem, someone is trying to demean you, someone is trying to harm you, whether it's in a relationship or it is in your friend circle or it is in your, career space, do not be the first one to attack. That is because mongoose always wait for the right opportunities. They are not the one who first goes and attacks the snake. It rather just lures the snakes towards coming towards it, and then it attacks whenever the opportunity is right. So you will see, whenever you are the first one to approach, you are the one to attack first, or you are the one to approach first, things might not go your way. Then you lose the control over situation. But if you act intelligently, if you act wisdom oriented, you are, when let the person approach, let the person attack, and then give the answer, you're going to be the defeated one. You're going to be the invincible one. Okay. And since I mentioned mongoose is considered as a social animal, like wherever they go, they will collect all the fellow mongoose and make a union of themselves. So these people have a tendency to always take the charge in the relationship. And even you would see that your partner, your spouse is going to be an individual who is going to plan to always take charge of either the family or either their friend circle or wherever they go. Their personality is like they want to grab the attention of wherever they are. When it is about specifically about your spouse, you would see that your spouse will have a strong influence of sun in their features, as in they can have hazel or brownish eyes, they can have a little bit brown in their beard or in their hair. If it is a male, then of course the beard and the hair both. But if it is a female, it can be like browny hair, curly hair. There could be a bit of curls or waviness in the hair. Then the face can be a little square or a little sharper, like this, like mine is, because I have Uttarashar, of course, duh. So this could be the face structure as well for your person. And of course, they have an absolute charm, absolute charm. Venus in association with sun, there's always an absolute charm there because their personality enlightens. Sun is responsible for one's personality. Venus is getting influence there. Venus is involved for how people perceive you, and sun is getting influence there. So of course, a very commanding existence that they have. Now, next, let's talk about the deity, which is the Vishwadevas, the universal gods. So, gods are actually, just a second, I think, just a second. Hello? Yes, it is working. So, the universal gods, the Vishwadevas, are basically, they own the traits of, being moralful, dependable, honest, right? Fair. So all the good qualities, all the fair qualities you will see in the Vishwadevas. Now, since they have the influence of Uttara Ashar, these people would want to have such qualities in their partner, and rather their partner does have all of these qualities. If the affliction is not there, please remember, if the affliction is there of Uttara Ashar, definitely you are going to have the very opposite of a partner. If suppose it's Venus and Rahu in Uttara Ashar, you will actually get cheated on. You can get cheated on. You can get deceived by a very powerful individual or a person in relationship who was actually showing you that they are powerful, they earn well, but actually they do not. Right? So the affliction can actually, turn out the whole scenario. But if we talk about this planet without being afflicted, then you actually are a person yourself who always want to speak the truth, always want to be moralful, and even your spouse is going to be like that. But there was a story in the Mahabharata as well, where Krishna actually had to, Krishna actually asked the Pandavas to, start deceiving, because there was some rule in Mahabharata which was like, that they should not, it was something, I'm not remembering this, just okay, so it wasn't anything specific, but there was certain set of rules to be followed, which the Kauravas didn't. That's why Krishna suggested that if they are not following the fair practices and what was being told to them, that why should we? So there is always a tit for tat energy here. There's always everything is fair in love and war kind of a situation here. When you meet a person with either moon in Uttara Ashar or Venus in Uttara Ashar, you would see that they are willing to do as fair things as possible, as moralful things as possible with you. And even you will get spouse like that with Venus and Uttarashad. But if you are the one to breaking that line of morality, of fairness, then they would be the one who are going to follow you in that. Then they are not going to be the one who are going to sit in the corner and cry because they feel the deception. Rather, they are the fighters, they are the warriors. Right? So that is one reason that why Uttara Ashad people take time to settle, because they definitely desire a partner who can handle this thing within them. They do have power struggles, they do have this tit for tat energy, and then they do grow into something intellectual, into someone intellectual, and an intellectual connection also. Okay, so now we are done with the planet sun, we are done with the deity, we are done with the animal. Now, the symbol. The symbol of this nakshatra is actually the elephant tusk and the back planks of the bed. Since it is Uttarashar and it is ruled by the planet sun, I always tell people who have Venus in the nakshatras of sun, especially in Uttara Falguni, in Uttarashar, always have their bed, backside of the bed or backside of the chair higher than their head, higher than their height, because that basically activates royalty for them, that makes them feel comfortable. Okay, so elephant tusk, that is an extremely important symbol, right? So one of the remedies for Uttarashad individuals is to always have a figure of either an elephant or Lord Ganesha in their home, where the trunk is always going upwards, and also the teeth are shown to go upwards. That has to be the painting which should always be there for, basically attracting good relationship and love and luxury for them. Right. Another thing is that the story which is associated with elephant tusk, That is said that these people are very good writers. They are very good with writing, education, teaching, being a guru. That's because the elephant tusk represents Lord Ganesha. And Lord Ganesha actually took out his own tooth to write the Mahabharata. He used it as a pen with ink to write the Mahabharata. It has so much power and so much wisdom. That's why the tooth and the trunk of the Lord Ganesha or the elephant is considered to be having the most wisdom, the most qualities of poetic, of being poets, of being poetic, of being publishers, writers, novel artists, novel writers, artists. They are excellent with that, but they do have a set of organization. They're very organized with their creativity. That is something you would see with Uttara individuals, especially with Venus there, because Venus is all about creativity, it's all about luxury. So this also shows that they can also experience some problems with their with their teeth. And of course, their husband, their wife can also experience such problems. So they definitely have to take care of that, especially at the age of 33. That could be either their partner suffering from tooth problems or they themselves suffering through those problems. Okay. Then the planks of the bed. It's always said that wherever they sit, either it is chair, it is couch, it is bed, where they sleep, that has to have very strong foundation. And rather, this also talks about having foundation. Planks of the bed always talks about foundation. So all the nakshatras which are related to the planks of the bed, either they are Falgunis or they are Asharas, these people need to have strong stability. These people cannot live with unstable environments and unstable relationships. They always thrive, they always desire stable relationships in their life, where they feel that yes, their stability is coming. I again said stability. Stability is coming in, their growth is coming in. So growth and stability, a strong foundation is extremely important for them. That's why they always look and prefer relationships which are stronger within and then stronger on the outside. Okay, so that was all about Uttarashar, but I just want to say a lot more things with Venus and Uttarashar. I have seen people with Venus and Uttarashar getting either immense lessons with their relationships, or I have seen them actually not being able to stick on one relationship. Of course, the affliction or the positivity of this particular condition of Venus matters a lot, but these individuals also have a secret side to them. And you know what the secret side is? The secret side is of spirituality. The way these people look towards spirituality is not about religion. It's not about being religious. It's about being understanding towards the higher conscious, being able to understand that there is something greater than what is in front of us. So I have seen people having Venus or Saturn in Uttara Ashar to form organizations, to be the ones who are, for example, having their own institutes. And this could even resonate with your spouse. Your spouse can either be a dentist or be a teacher or be a CEO or be a person who is at a very good designation, because it is the nakshatra of sun. They always want power, they always want command, they want the ability to actually have the authority and give out orders. They are the excellent teachers, excellent gurus. So you see all those individuals who are going to run institutes, who are going to run schools, school principals, all of them are going to have Uttarashar, either Venus or Moon or Saturn, even Jupiter in Uttarashar. So Uttarashar basically is prominent for that. But definitely with people with Venus in Uttarashar, there are lessons that you have to have with love. you have to have with your personal relationships, not just your spouse, but your family relationships as well. Through the battles, through the wars, you understand yourself. With on the Sagittarius side, you understand the wisdom and the higher conscious within yourself. Towards the Capricorn side, you start becoming distant because you start analyzing and understanding this thing, that what needs your attention and what is not adding to your growth, and you need to discard what is not adding to your growth. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention about the appearance with Venus and Uttara, you can have a spouse who will have a good height. I told you a square, a face which is square, and then sharp hair, not sharp, but coming like this. Then, almond eyes. There is either eyes can even be black, but there can be some influence of brown, like either the hair on the skin, the hair on the head, or maybe for the men who have beard, there has to have something brown and curly, either with the texture of hair or the texture of hair on the body, anything like that. So they do have a very strong presence. They do have enlightened personalities as well. Okay, so that was about it, about the Uttara Ashara Nakshatra. So I hope this gives you good insights into this matter. We'll see you with the next video. Bye-bye. Take care.